Good morning, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's live stream. Today is February 5th, 2025. And to begin our live stream, I do want to take a look at the economic calendar. So we had ADP non-farm employment change, and we have ISM services PMI numbers today. So I mean, it's an eventful day, so we have some eventful news to inject volatility into the markets. So that is going to be some news events that could possibly drive us higher or lower here. But coming into today, I have a rather bullish bias, and let me tell you why. So on NQ, right, notice how we created this daily candle here. This daily candle is suggesting to me that we're most likely going to take out previous day high, right? It's either us take out previous day high or we retrace back inside this fair value gap here. So I do want to see us trade back inside this green box because of the way that we closed, right? We still haven't closed below this previous week's low, which is technically the fair value gap's second fair value gap's candles low here. So that means that this gap that we created on the daily time frame should continue to be rebalanced, right? This green box right here. So my objective for today is I want to see prices rebalance the inefficiency here on the daily time frame and possibly take out previous day high. So one thing that I do want to draw your attention to here is at all-time highs we have a swing high, and this swing low that we created this week right here. So from that swing low to all-time highs, there is a dealing range, right? There's a premium and there's a discount. Notice how yesterday we created that bullish candle, and look at how prices trades here. We're like basically 0.25 of a tick, so a quarter of a point, until we reach the equilibrium of this dealing range, right? So that is also a confluence for us to continue higher. And if you go into the lower time frames, like the 4-hour time frame here, you're gonna see us have this 4-hour fair value gap, right? This 4-hour inefficiency should be respected if we're going to be in alignment with the daily time frame and that expansion towards the premium of the dealing range. So this little break even denotion here, that's, keep in mind, that is the fair value gap's low, right? I want to see us rebalance into that daily inefficiency like I showed you guys. So there's that daily fair value gap low, and that is what I have coming into today. However, coming into the morning, I want to see the 4-hour candle that we're going to create here in about 22 minutes or so to be in alignment with the daily order flow, right? So daily order flow is suggesting to us that we're going to continue higher. So this 4-hour candle and this 8-hour candle, I'm going to wait and see how they close first. But if we were to close right now on this 8-hour candle and this 4-hour candle, I could anticipate for us to take out the 4-hour high and the 8-hour high. With that, because it's closing rather bullishly, right? So that's what I do have coming into the morning and coming into today. Very very interesting price action so far. Coming into the week, we gapped lower and then we created a daily fair value gap. We're disrespecting, or not disrespecting, but we're kind of like just tapping that daily fair value gap over and over that we have at the daily time frame. But yeah, I mean, very, very, very interesting price action so far on NQ. Like, this is what we have on the daily time frame right now. This is what it looks like. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's very back and forth. Yeah, I don't know. This is very, very interesting where we're at right now in the markets. Let's take a look at the dollar. So the dollar actually, oh, interesting. So we actually took out previous week's high. Previous week's high should be here. It should be right there. Here is previous week's low, and previous week's low is not the draw of liquidity. Previous month's low is at previous week's low. So I do here. And previous month's high is here. The monthly open. We actually gapped up here. And there we are. So on the dollar, it seems that we're continuing lower here. So NQ, we should be continuing higher if we're going to be in tandem, right? So NQ and the dollar, they're always going to be trading inversely to each other, right? So if we're in probable conditions, NQ should be trading the opposite of what the dollar is doing. If the dollar is continuing higher, NQ should be trading lower, and that goes vice versa. NQ higher, dollar lower, NQ lower, dollar higher. Let's continue to watch the price action. Like I said, I want to see how we close here on the 4-hour candle and the 8-hour candle to really establish a bias. But as of right now, I'll just continue to sit on my hands. There's no need to force anything here just yet. So the ES here has actually taken out Asia's highs when NQ hasn't. So there is some sort of SMC right now. And I mean, it could hold, it couldn't. I'm just gonna wait. I do want to take a look at take a look at some of the pros and cons here that I have from last week. So here we go. Well, actually, I'll wait until we start the pros and cons here at 10, because I do want to take a look at what the market's at. So I don't want to miss out on the move, and I told myself last week that I should just stay focused onto the charts until 10. Oh my god. I'm hot. Bum ba-da-dum bum bum bum. Yeah, I'm still with this like dueling range here. I'm still trying to figure out how you're essentially supposed to approach this, because like this is considered the entire dealing range here. So that all-time highs to previous month's low, that would be that would be technically the dealing range here in this case, right? But the fact that we have different swing lows, it kind of, I'm thinking to myself like, okay, so can I use the swing low that we created on Monday this week? So here, can we use that swing low as a swing low to generate our daily range? So I'm still, I'm not completely, I wouldn't say sure, but how you're supposed to approach this, right? Because like, to me, with the way that we closed yesterday, it's just no way. It's like, there's no way it's random, right? Because if you, like I said, if you take that swing high, all-time highs, to the swing low that we created on Monday, the charts just look too, like, it's too close to equilibrium, right? We missed equilibrium by 0.25, a quarter of a point, right? On NQ. So if there are sellers in the markets right now, right, you would want to see prices sell above this red box. You want to be a seller in this red box, right? So it just seems efficient for prices to trade up into the discount of the dealing range. So like, this is why I really do have that bullish bias, but it's just, the question is if I'm allowed to use this swing low as a dealing range, right? To utilize it as a dealing range. I mean, I can't really see why not, but it's just I've never really approached it like this before. It's because we have a lot of different swing lows here, and the back and forth price action, it just kind of like, it kind of creates this range where it's interesting, very, very interesting. 2 hour time frame, 2 months time frame, 4 month. One thing that I'm still considering too is this yearly time frame here. With the way that we close here on the yearly candle, on this yearly candle here, I am anticipating for the yearly high to be taken, just simply based off of how we closed. I believe it's more efficient. I would feel like it's more efficient for if prices takes out the yearly high first, then prices takes out yearly low, because there's no point in us not taking out this high, right? It just, that's what I'm basing it on right here, my yearly bias. So I want to see us take out yearly high, but how to align myself with that time frame is a different story, right? So on the 6 month time frame, last month we opened, or the last 6 months candle, we opened, we traded into, basically we had a immediate rebalance here on the half month time frame, or the half yearly time frame, so a 6 month time frame, and then after we had that immediate rebalance, we expanded higher, and then we had our closure. That is giving me like, okay, that's giving me a bullish bias, right? The thing that I'm lacking with that yearly high being the target is a fair value gap. There's not a fair value gap on the 4 minute or the 3 month time frame, the 4 month time frame for me to really utilize as an entry pattern, right? Because here it's just, there's no fair value gaps that we could use. So that's kind of giving me like uncertainty, I guess. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? 10 minutes left until we close here on the 4-hour candle. And like I said, with the way that we're closing here on the 4-hour time frame, I would like to see us continue higher, right? I would like to see us take out the 4-hour high. That would be my morning objective coming into the day here. Yikes. Yikes. It's a 4-hour for rag gap. Pretty interesting so far. Hour time frame, 4-hour time frame, looking pretty bullish. Let's see if we have SMTs here between ES and NQ. SMT is essentially a indicator for manipulation. It allows you as a trader, right, to know when prices are manipulating and I guess creating lower probability conditions, right? So let's see here. We don't have SMTs there. So at these lows, we don't have SMT. But however, at the highs, we have SMTs here. That's an SMT. And right now, like I said, ES has taken out Asia's highs, whereas NQ did not. And this lack of strength, the lack of strength in this leg up here is not giving me a lot of confidence in higher prices as of right now, to be honest. Yeah, this entire leg up, not, let's see, can I even say, yeah, not a single fair value gap besides this one, I believe, on the 15-minute time frame. So not a lot of fair value gaps here, to be honest. Rather weak. Ooh, that would have been a trade there, to be honest. I think so, right? Or would it not have been? No, the way that wouldn't have been a trade, because what would have I don't have an entry pattern. All right. Well, about to close in about 5 minutes. Well, about to close here in 5 minutes. So notice how here, so this 15-minute time frame right now on NQ, if we close there right now on this 15-minute time frame, I would suggest that we're most likely going to continue lower. However, the 4-hour time frame is still technically bullish. So I would have to wait until the 15-minute time frame aligns itself with the 4-hour time frame. Right? That's time frame alignment. Whenever the lower time frames are suggesting lower prices and the higher time frames are suggesting higher prices, there is a misalignment between the time frames, right? So as traders, you want to align yourself when the time is right. You want to wait until time frames are aligned with each other when one is suggesting the other. In this case, like I said, this 15-minute candle right here that we're creating is not suggesting to me that we're bullish. It's giving me this idea that we're most likely going to attack the 15-minute low. So it's rather interesting. So like I said, I would have to just wait until the 15-minute candle aligns itself with the 4-hour order flow / hourly. But about 3 minutes left. Even the 30-minute time frame too. 30-minute time frame is rather indecisive. It looks just, yeah, I don't know. It looks weak. Same thing here with this hourly time frame. 2 minutes left. Even with the move lower, prices doesn't seem to be like completely bearish. We could continue lower there to retrace back inside this discount of the dealing range here on the 15-minute time frame at least. So that could be an objective here for the 15-minute time frame. But now, like, it looks so funny what the 15 minutes creating here. I think today might just be a day where I just sit on the sidelines, to be honest. I really don't want to force anything here. Just the way that price action is, like, with the way that the candles create, and, like, with the way that the candles are looking right now, it just looks really low probability, if I'm being completely honest. But I mean, with the news right at 10, we could end up just taking up 4-hour high. I don't know. I'm not gonna force anything though. It'll be a spectacle to watch. Here, let's say that. Because like the last 1 minute, we completely changed the 15-minute candles creation. Here's the number released. So that is the release of the ISM numbers. So let's see here. What, like I said before, how do we close here on the 8-hour / 4-hour candle? We had a bullish closure. So it is okay for us to have a bullish bias coming into the next 4 hours / 8 hours, and more specifically because the 4-hour high is the same high as the 8-hour high, you can anticipate for the 8-hour objective to be completed within the next 4 hours. And this idea is called scope. Scope allows you to understand when prices is going to complete a certain time frame's objective, right? So in this case, I understood when prices wants to create or complete the 8-hour objective. And we did that right when we opened up at 10. But the reason why this is just not like high probability is because that the way that we close here on the 15-minute time frame, right? It shows lack of strength here, and we are lacking fair value gaps with the leg up. Like, there's no fair value gaps to suggest the idea of higher prices. We just took out 4-hour / 8-hour high without giving an opportunity to do so or be a part of that setup, right? Which is fine. That's completely okay as long as you understand your strategy and you're able to stay disciplined and patient with how you execute. That is going to create and mold you to become a profitable day trader. But yeah, coming into the pros and cons for this week at least, every single trade that I took last week, I was able to identify the 3 components for my trades, right? So every single trade I was able to identify what my higher time frame objective is going to be, what my model and what my entry pattern is. If I have all of those 3 components to my trade, I should be able to just press the button without hesitation, right? And that shows consistency. It doesn't matter what the outcome of the trade is. It's how I follow my strategy and how I execute, right? If all of those components are present in every single one of my trades, like every single one, that just shows a level of consistency and a level of discipline and patience, right? There will be days like yesterday, like Monday, where I don't take a single trade at all. And that's completely fine. I think knowing when to stay away from the charts is more crucial than knowing when to execute. Because executing is fairly easy, right? It's knowing it's understanding when to not execute and actually having the patience and discipline to not press the button. Because I know for sure when I first started this journey, I felt this urge and this need to press a button every single day, right? And that's not how you're supposed to, I guess, approach trading. I mean, unless your strategy is quite literally like, it's like showing you a opportunity to press a button every single day, then go for it. But the way that I'm viewing prices, and for me specifically, every single day I know what, like, I will know and I have an idea of what prices wants to do. It's just the matter that, are we going to have a model or are we going to have an entry pattern to align ourselves with that specific order flow, right? And if there isn't, then you have to sit on your hands. Know when to sit out of the markets and just simply be a spectator and have the patience and discipline to actually carry out that, I guess, rule. Second thing, understanding time frame alignment. So like I showed you guys here on the 15-minute time frame. 15-minute time frame isn't exactly in alignment with the hourly slash 4 hour slash 8 hour, but that 4 hour and 8 hour time frames, they're still suggesting higher prices because the higher time frames hold higher power, right? They are precedent before everything else. But like I said, there's just that lack of alignment between the lower time frames and the higher time frames. That's going to be a core reason why sometimes I don't enter a trade, right? So there's that. And the last I guess thing that I should continue to do here, like I said, remain patient. Patience is a virtue. Sometimes there are going to be days where you know where prices is going to go, or you have a general idea of what prices wants to do, right? But your model isn't present, or you don't have a fair value gap to enter off of. If you don't have those things, like I said, you have to practice patience, right? Have that will, have the discipline to actually be able to stay away from the markets. And your ego, you shouldn't have this urgency to feel like you are correct, right? Even if you know what the higher time frames are going to do, or like you have a general idea, a strategy isn't a strategy if you break its rules, right? If you don't follow what it contains, then there's no point in having a strategy. So practice that level of patience and discipline to not execute whenever your components of your trade isn't present. So what are some of the things that I can work on coming into today? For me, I can continue to align my thoughts and my actions with my goals and values, right? Is what I'm thinking currently in alignment with who I am in the future, right? So envision yourself 5 years, 10 years in the future. What are the things that he does? How does he act? And envision that and imagine yourself. You are in his shoes right now, right? Continue to do what's necessary for the present you to be the you in the future that you have in mind of. And understand, everybody, we are given a limited amount of energy every single day, right? So how do you want to spend that energy? Do you want to be spending your energy on TikTok? Do you want to be spending your energy scrolling on YouTube, playing video games? Or are you going to spend that energy, that limited amount of energy, on bettering yourself, growing, learning a high value skill, right? How do you want to spend your energy is a question that you should ask yourself to be able to, I guess, uncover your deepest desires, your deepest goals and values. Got a little mini fridge, but yeah. So like I said, have that constant awareness of what your actions are and what your thoughts are every single moment. So second thing for me to continue to work on coming into this week is comparison, right? For me, I've always been a bit of an overthinker. Always trying to, like, I guess, overanalyze things, right? And one of the things I overanalyze is how a certain person's, where a certain person is in their journey compared to mine. And I don't. I mean, I kind of have a general idea of what the root cause may be. I mean, childhood experiences, um, and just the whole idea of living up to expectations as an Asian American. But for me, I'm getting a lot better at this because I'm understanding that everybody has their own journey, right? Um, and everybody's living their own life. There's no, it's so, the universe is so vast that there's no point in thinking of like thinking about where you're at compared to another person's, right? That doesn't benefit you in any way. And for me, I'm taking like steps like going on, like limiting my social media usage. I don't even have any social media on my phone. The only times I'm ever on like Instagram or I'm not even on TikTok or Snapchat. But yeah, the only times I'm ever on social media is whenever I'm on my computer and I have some, I guess, some free time, right? But that's like one step I'm taking towards freeing myself from this whole idea of comparing where you're at to another person, right? It's just super negative. There's no point in you uh, to compare, right? Comparison is the thief of joy. Like that's a very honest quote. But yeah, some of the improvements here for this upcoming week is, like I said, to continue to take consistent models. Every single trait that I take, I should be able to identify what my higher time frame objective is, what my model is, and what my entry pattern is going to be, right? I should be able to explain that whole concept to a random person. If they ask me, hey dude, why did you take this trade here? I should be able to explain to them, hey, so my higher time frame objective was this and this and that. This is my model and this is my entry pattern. All of those checkpoints should be met before I even press the button. And once I press that button, there's no need for you to be afraid of what the outcome is going to be, right? The outcome is something that you cannot control. Whether or not it's going to rain tomorrow, whether or not a person's going to do a certain thing, that's completely out of your control, right? And you shouldn't spend all your energy, you shouldn't even spend any of your energy at all on things that you can't control, and only focus solely on the things that you can control. I've heard on, I don't know if it was a podcast or a video, but so I'm Catholic, right? And there was someone that was talking about the things that you can't control, leave that completely up to God. Have complete faith in what God has in plan for you, and just continue to do the things that you can control. And I thought, wow, that's like, so you're not, have complete faith in what God has in plan for you, right? Don't leave it up to chance, but like I said, have that faith in God and take control of what you can control. Second thing, properly aligning time frames and waiting until the time frame is right. So understand when the lower time frames are misaligned with the higher time frames, you shouldn't be a part of the environment there. You should simply just be a spectator. But when the lower time frames are aligned with the higher time frames, that's when you should consider positioning yourself into a trade. But that's going to take patience, right? Because not all the times there's not going to be a time the time frames are not always going to be in alignment with one another. So you have to practice that patience, right? That level of discipline to stay away from the urge to press a button. Practicing mindfulness, right? Be constantly aware of your thoughts and your actions. Some things that can make this a little bit easier is to have a vision board in front of you to be able to visually see what you have as goals, what you have as values. So for me, in front of my PC here, or in front of my monitor, or right beside my monitor, is a little poster of some of the values and goals that I have, right? And some inspirational quotes to help me continue forward, right? I have my friends and family. I have pictures on an airplane to indicate that to experience the world, to travel. Nature is something that I'm deeply passionate about, and the whole idea of just being in nature, and yeah, some other things. But like I said, having a vision board, having some sort of visual representation of your goals and values are going to actually help you. That's like you creating a positive environment around you, right? So like I said, go throughout today with the idea of mindfulness. Be constantly aware of your thoughts and your actions. And the last thing is aggressive trading. But yeah, I mean, the charts are terrible. Or not terrible, it just, you don't want to be a part of it. And that's basically all I do have for my pros and cons. I guess I've already done that. So the last thing that I do want to do here on the live stream is go over a daily stoic quote, right? Daily stoicism. And I do these quotes here every single day, and I post them on my Discord. And if you guys want to join my Discord, it will be in my bio in the description below. But yeah, so the daily quote for today is: don't explain philosophy, embody it. Actions speak louder than words. Stoicism is not about talking or debating ideas, it's about actually living them. The way to show your beliefs is through your daily choices and behaviors. So I can't say that I'm a stoic person because I'm going over a stoic quote with you guys, right? The only way that you're going to live as a stoic person is to actually do it. The first thing that you should do is simply do it. And that's the most beneficial and that's the most impactful way of doing things. Lead by example. Instead of telling people and others how they should live or what philosophy they should follow, show them through your discipline, resilience, and virtue. Philosophy is practical, not... Oh yeah, bye now. Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah, bye bye. Philosophy is practical, not theoretical. I don't know if I said that word right. Wisdom is not about how much you know, but how you apply what you know. Stoicism is meant to be lived, not just studied. Are you practicing the principles you believe in, or are you just simply just thinking and talking about them? So this I actually have to continue. I have to practice, right? To continue to embody the ideas of Stoicism. I've always been a firm for a while now. I've always been, or ever since I've got introduced to Stoicism, I've been a big core believer that Stoicism is a good way to approach life, right? So I simply can't just, like I said, me talking to you guys about how Stoicism is and how, you're supposed to approach life, I can't, like ChatGPT says, you can't show that through your words, right? It's better done through your actions. And that's the only thing that I can, be mindful of here, is to literally do it, right? To be a stoic person. What are the actions, what are the thoughts that a stoicism person will have? That's everyone. And today is February 5th, 2025. Alright, and with that, I believe that's going to be all for the live stream today. Like I said, today I wanted to see us take out, or the morning session at least, I did want to see us take out the 4-hour high and the 8-hour high. And after we complete that objective on those two specific time frames, I can no longer use the 4-hour time frame and the 8-hour time frame as my, I guess, higher time frame order flow, right? Now I have to rely on possibly the hourly time frame, 30-minute time frame, or whenever the 6-hour candle closes and a new 4-hour candle closes, or 10-hour candle closes, right? So just pay attention to how we close here on those two specific time frames. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for my live stream for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, be safe.